Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you this afternoon? I know we are well. We've had something to put in our stomachs. And we want to continue with our program because we are 1 hour down the line. We are 1 hour late, so we want to continue with our program so that we can be able to save on time. This afternoon, we have on board the media people. Media students, tuko. Media, kama kuna watu wanajipenda. Kama kuna department inajipenda, ni hiyo ya media. So we are glad to have you media students. Tunawapenda sana. That is why we have a session specifically for you. And we are hoping you're going to participate. The more we participate, the more it becomes better. So we want to start our session. But before we start, I can see we have so many seats in front. Wale tumekaa nyuma so that we avoid ushering wale watakuja late huku mbele. Kindly let us fill the seats in front. Let's fill the seats in front, please. Let's fill the seats in front so that we can be able to start. Thank you, thank you. I think we are good now. Our afternoon session is media and digital transformations. And I want to invite Dr. Nyasha to come and take us through as the moderator of this session. Daktari, karibu sana.
Maswera say, that's my language back home. Habari ya mchana. Thank you so much. I am happy to be here. Maswera say means, maskatakanaka, which means habari ya mchana. Good afternoon. And welcome to this session, Media and Digital Transformation Panel. I have a group of people who are the kind of persons that are working with AI, that are putting AI to fruition to the results that we are seeing here. On the panel, I will call the first person to come here is Oliver Matege. Oliver Matege.
Recording in progress.
Oliver Matenge. That's correct. Yes. Clap hands for him, please, as he come forward. Oliver Matenge. He is the managing director, managing editor, audience and engagement for the organization called Nation Media Group. Oliver Matege has been there since April 2023. In his role, he leads the digital publishing and social strategy for the group's brands, focusing on analytics, audience engagement, pivot strategy, implementation, and optimizing commercial content. He previously served as multimedia editor for NTV, providing editorial oversight for digital products and leading the newsroom's digital transformation. Oliver's career at Radio Africa Group included roles as group digital editor, parliamentary reports editor, and chief writer on The Presidents, where he supervised the teams and developed digital content strategy. Oliver began his journalism career at Nation Media Group in 2007, developing news and features for various publications and gained early experience in corporate affairs at Zetech University. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, specializing in electronic and print media from Zetech University, and a diploma in Management Information Systems from Strathmore University. Oliver's expertise in digital content strategy, audience engagement, and media innovation has made him a key figure in journalism, in Kenyan journalism. Can we again give him a clap, a good clap, a good pam-pam? Thank you so much. Our second panelist is Dr. Simon Chege, a lecturer in Media and Journalism Studies at Zetech University. Dr. Chege is my pal, my tutor, my mentor, and I'm happy he's here. He holds a Doctor's of Philosophy in Mass Communication Media Studies from Moi University. With a full-time position at Zetech University, Dr. Chege is dedicated to educating and mentoring students in the fields of media and journalism, combining his extensive academic background with practical industry insights to provide a comprehensive learning experience. His expertise and commitment to the field makes him a valuable asset to the university and an influential figure in shaping future media professionals. Let us welcome Dr. Chege again with a pam-pam. Our panelist number 3, we now differentiate in terms of gender. We have Madam Shiko Kaitani. Let us clap hands for her as she comes forward. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. That's fine. Thank you so much. Madam Shiko is a prominent Kenyan television personality best known for hosting the hit game show Tazama Chapa. A journalism graduate from the United States International University, Shiko began her media career in 2006 at Kamen FM as the youngest on-air personality on a vernacular station. She later worked as an entertainment journalist and presenter at K24, hosting Shiko's Diary, and joined the Royal Media family in 2009, hosting the mid-morning segment on Hot 96 until 2011. Shiko has contributed to Citizen TV's news segments and covered major events like Tasker Project Firm, and mentored by Maina Kageni. She hosted mid-morning on Classic 105 and worked as a scriptwriter and voice artist for shows like Tujuane and the Sakata Dance Show. Currently, she leads K24 TV's breakfast show and doubles as a corporate MC, having hosted events such as the Mabati Rolling Mills, Safao Iowa Awards, and the Annual Journalism Excellence Awards of 2024. As a brand ambassador and influencer, Shiko creates customized content for clients and has a strong online presence with significant followings on Instagram and Facebook. Her networking skills in the media industry provides clients with opportunities for live and recorded television interviews, as well as exposure on radio and print platform. Can we again clap our hands for Madam Shiko? She is a producer, a presenter, a scriptwriter. Thank you so much, and we welcome you to the program. Our fourth panelist is a student, Christine Kaku. Can you please come forward? The audience clap hands for her. Christine Kaku is a student in digital media and journalism studies at Zetech University. She is a dedicated student currently pursuing a degree in digital media and journalism studies with a keen interest in storytelling. We hope we will hear the storytelling skills here today. And media production. She is committed to honoring her skills in digital content creation and journalistic integrity. Christine, a third-year student, is passionate about leveraging digital platforms to inform and engage the public on various issues. Her academic journey is marked by a strong focus on both the technical and ethical aspects of journalism. preparing her for a dynamic career in the media industry. Can we all please clap hands for Madame Christine Kaku?
Recording stopped.
I'm
Recording in
happy.
progress.
I'm happy she is also my student, but this time it's a reverse jive. She's the one who is teaching me. My name is Dr. Nyasha Mapue from Zimbabwe. I am a visiting faculty in the Department of Media and Journalism Studies. I'll be here for quite some time, and I hope I will marry my 2 daughters so that I have excuses to continuously come this side. I thank you for the honor that you have given me. With me as a rapporteur is Madame Miriam Kaara. Let us also clap hands for Madame Miriam Kaara to be part of us. I then sit down and start my question with my mentor, Dr. Simon Chege, my mentor. Since morning, we have been hearing some stories and discussions about artificial journalism and all those kind of things. Sorry? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for an addition. And we call upon thank you so much, thank you so much. So we proceed with our first question to Dr. Simon. Since morning, we have been talking about artificial intelligence, but where I come from, when I went to university, the lecturer kept on teaching us about something until one student asked, but what is that? He talked about market segmentation. Until a student said, but what is market segmentation? Only for the lecturer to say, market segmentation is segmenting the market. I hope Dr. Simon will do justice. But what is artificial intelligence and how can it be used in the media?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. We all use artificial intelligence in one way or another. Probably we are not even aware that we're using AI. We use AI in tools that we use every day. Even Microsoft Word that you use to type your document comes with AI functionalities that you use. Probably you're not aware. I know that when I talk about AI, I'm talking about a concept that is in everyone's lips. We all talk about AI all the time, but this is a simple definition of what AI is. I would describe AI as a computer system or a tool that is capable of performing complex tasks. I'm talking about systems that are capable of reasoning, systems that are capable of decision making, systems that are able to make inferences. And I'm talking about systems that are capable of mimicking human behavior. That is AI in very simple definition. How does AI affect the media? AI impact is not being felt in media only. In all sectors of our economy, be it education, hospitality, tourism, communication, media, which is our focus today, AI is in use. We are using AI in different sectors of our economy. That is simply what I'm saying. What is the impact of AI on media? Number one, AI is being used to generate content, media content. Number two, AI is being used to perform audience analysis. That's an aspect of analytics, just to make you understand as a journalist who your audience are so that you can give them the content that they want. AI is being used to perform other complex tasks. For example, fact-checking of news and media content that we consume. AI is also being used for other complex tasks, including algorithms that are used to compose complex reports by way of sourcing data from various sources and putting that into a complex report, and relieving the journalists the work of maybe doing repetitive tasks so that journalists can focus on other important tasks. And finally, where are we now in terms of AI's development for media application? If you've been following what is going on, developers of AI are working on 3D robots, humanoids, that are capable of anchoring news. Probably the next time you tune on your TV, instead of looking at Lilian Muli, you are likely to have a Lilian Muli 3D AI system that is modeled along her. And probably if you're not keen, you may not notice the difference. That is where we are. That is where we are moving to. So those are some of the impacts of AI in media. And I'm sure in this discussion, we are going to have more of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you so much. And I come to you, to Mr. Matege, with the first question for you. Given that we now have AI, we can't wish it away. In the industry, with your extensive digital content strategy and audience experience, how do you see AI transforming the way media organizations, like your own organization, how do you see it transforming to interact with the audience? Probably if we give a projection of 5 years, how do you see in the AI in being involved in that kind of transformation?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today. This topic is a topic that I am very passionate about, given that we are in a state of digital transformation, not just as a media house, but as an industry. And like any other technology that has disrupted what and how journalism has been exercised or practiced in this country, even globally, is that AI continues to have a lot of impact in the things that we do. As I sit here, 25 of my colleagues are somewhere in Westlands, going through a 3-day training on AI in newsrooms. And this is part of our journey to ensure that we are able to appreciate and adapt this technology within our various processes within the newsroom. Already there are ways that we are using AI. Last year, I led a team that came up with our framework on how to use AI within the Nation Media Group. It's just been approved by the board, and it's something that we are, that's how seriously we are taking AI as part of how we are going to do our journalism going forward. Last year I also participated in the Media Council of Kenya, which is a regulatory body for journalism in Kenya, put together a task force which I was part of, and we came up with 3 documents that are going to guide how AI is used within the industry as a whole. So coming to the specific question of how I see it transforming, is that for us, and from where I see it leading the teams that are leading the transformation of how we are doing our journalism at Nation Media Group, is that we are looking at how do we increase our efficiencies. We are also looking at how do we reach more audiences. We are also looking at how do we ensure that we are able to use these technologies to ensure that our journalism reaches to each and every person. Let me give examples. Today, if you come to our platforms, most of them are text-based. If you go to our websites and you are visually challenged, you're not likely to consume our content. So what we've done is that we have acquired an AI system that we are going to plug into our websites in the coming month, where it will turn all that content into audio. So all our written content, someone can just listen to it if they have that challenge. And what that does is that it helps us in ensuring that everyone is able to consume the content, and at the same time, we are reaching more audiences, and that we are not discriminating against any individual in this country. We are also working with certain AI firm to create a model that is going to be translating our content in our ethnic languages. Not everyone reads English, not everyone reads Swahili. But if we are able to translate it to Luhya, Kikuyu, and the rest, we reach more people, and so that at a time where AI is being misused, at a time when technology is being misused for misinformation, we can play our role in ensuring that people have the right information and in a language that they understand. So that's how I look at it from where we sit. The last thing that we look at it in terms of transformation is that today our journalists are involved in very mundane tasks. For instance, cropping a photo, editing a photo, at times copying text and creating captions for social media. I would love my journalists to be able to use their time better by giving people in-depth content, going behind the scenes, doing investigatives instead of doing these tasks. And so I look at a place where AI will help us in ensuring that we are able to free our journalists and they can be able to do other things by automating most of these processes that can be done by machines. Because at the same, the framework I mentioned, what we state is that AI will use AI to augment what we can do as human, but not replace us. And so we are not replacing people with AI. What you're saying is there are tasks that a human being can do and do very well, but a machine can do faster. And so why not do it, give it to that?
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. And I come to you, Madam Shiko Titan. He is into print, largely into print, and you are into electronic. Now, what changes would you recommend for the media to embrace challenges and opportunities on this, which is now called the fourth industrial or revolution? What do you recommend for the upcoming students that we have here from an electronic perspective?
From the electronic perspective,
Yes.
okay. Afternoon, everyone. How we doing? Can we get some energy in the room? Hi, guys. How are you? All right, as you've probably heard, obviously, you've heard about my profile and what I do every single day. I just want to start off by saying thank you, and thank you, Mr. MC and the moderator, for the opportunity, and also to my panelists, thanks so much, and to the Zetech fraternity for this opportunity. We've had quite a number of engagements. We have our celebrity faculty sitting here at the front. I think everybody here at the front pretty much has been on television. Owen is right here. In fact, Owen has been, I think, the highest number of shows done with Professor Owen. So it's great to be here. So in terms of recommendations, I think, as you've already heard from our other two panelists, is that the dynamics of media today is about adaptability. And for those of us who are caught in between, because there's Gen Z, hey, I think the first row is baby boomers. But for us who are millennials, now here we are a combination, we are called zillennials, okay? we're zillennials, so you're kind of in between. You were in an era where things were being done differently, and then now you have to adapt to what is currently there. And like they've said, there's a lot of fears currently ongoing with especially people like me whose job is to actually be on-air personnel. And when you're on air, I think you are in a position to be the first on the chopping block, so to speak. It's a very risky, even if most sought after position, because a lot of people really want to be on screen. Very many people don't really come and say, oh, hi, I want to be a sound engineer, you know? Everybody wants to be on screen, but it also comes with so many challenges. And so what I would advise is any individual actually learning how to use AI to their advantage. And I think, you know, like you had said, that there's so much that we are using every single day that we take for granted that we don't know. A lot of you are probably making money, like a side hustle here and there, by simply using AI. Something like CapCut is, you know, broadly used. You guys are actually editing on your phones, you're taking pictures, you're manipulating those pictures for obviously whatever purpose, or you're designing on your phones. Now everything is all here. But whoever is able to master the technology better will be the one actually home and dry, so to speak. And so one of the unfortunate things that we've seen, you've talked about print. We've seen the evolution of print, and it's quite unfortunate how a lot of individuals in my industry, but in the print section, ended up without jobs. Why? Because print is starting to become obsolete, so to speak, hard print. Now, had they jumped onto the wave of understanding what technology can do, very many of those individuals will still be having a job. But did anybody really think about WordPress? Did they think about using different applications on how to make them better, more competitive for the online space? That was the question for a lot of writers today. And so because if you don't catch up with the tech, if you don't catch up with the trend, if you don't catch up with the demands, that really does put you at risk. So my recommendation is always get with the program. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? All right, that would be my recommendation.
Thank you so much. It feels like we were already on air ourselves with you. And that's it. That's it. Thank you so much.
Recording
And
stop.
to
Recording
you,
in progress.
our student, Madam Christine Kaku, how do you see yourself as a journalist in the future, given AI is upon us? What can you say? The future of journalism. You are the future of journalism. What can you say given the coming of AI?
Okay, thank you so much, my lecturer. Although you've only taught me for one semester, but I love it. So thank you so much. I appreciate this chance, honestly. It's an honor sitting here and watching my, my leads here. So I appreciate, and to my panelists, I think I'm the youngest here. I'm the Gen Z. Yeah. So, no, you're Z millennials. So I appreciate. So being a media student up to now, at that day, I think being at that year, you've experienced almost 70% of what you're supposed to experience. Being there as a journalist.
Recording stopped.
Being an AI, or using AI, if I check AI, everyone has said that AI is being used by most of, even not companies, even institutions, to where we are up to now. It's AI that now it's becoming a very huge topic that has to be discussed. And as a journalist, in few years to come, because I know I'll be a journalist, most probably the thing that I can say is that AI is going to give me accuracy and a lot of efficiency. If I say to start a company that maybe TV47, and I need a news anchor, and I need to gather news, I need to collect news, I need also to, get the data checked, and am I giving my audience the right thing? So AI is going to help me first fact check that is going to help, if that is going to be effective. I'm going to give my audience what is right. I'm not going to mislead them. I'm not going to give them misinformation. So AI as a journalist, it's going to help me become a very effective journalist. And it is also going to, if you become an effective journalist and you're not misinforming people, you're giving them what you're supposed to be giving them, you know. AI has, when you talk about AI, digital literacy, comes with, you know, Google Analytics, where you're able to track your audience. What do your audience want? What do they want to know? Are they spending much time to the content that you're giving them? Are they satisfied? You know, there's this theory that you talk about, uses and gratifications. Are you satisfying the audience with what you're giving them? You know, there's something, you know, I think I'm also a culprit of that. When you go to YouTube and you watch something like 2 minutes, you're like, in a bow. You know. So when you use AI, you're going to use Google Analytics that is going to help you. How long, the duration of these audience are staying in your content. And when you realize that you're taking a very short time, you're going to do what? You're going to check on your content, redo it, re-edit, make it more appealing, you know. So with AI, it's going to help you give your audiences what they want, satisfy them. It's going also to make you a very productive journalist. Because if you're going to become a professional, right? So when you're a journalist, you have to give your audience or your people, and you also have to follow the ethical laws and regulations. For you to be productive, you must have laws, you must follow ethical considerations of journalism, so of media and journalism. So using AI, you're going to be able to do all that. And if you follow the ethical and considerations, of course, you can even be ranked the best, you know, journalist like Lulu Hassan. By the way, I admire that lady because she's just shown me, I've watched her from I was around, let me say, class, it was a class. So I watch her and I've seen her, you know, her growth in media. Yeah. So using AI, you can even become the best journalist. Using Google Analytics to get your audience, you know, ethical considerations and all that, so you can become a very, you know, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you once more. Yes. As you've heard from my fellow panelists, AI is not coming to take our jobs. I know there is that perception that AI is coming to take our jobs. And if you think that is the case, then I can give you a context, maybe to ponder about. Those people who used old telephone systems, though I mean the landline. I know maybe in this room, not many of us. Probably you've seen photos of how those systems were operating. What used to happen is, if you made a call through your headset, that call would be transferred to an operator. So you'd find many operators seated in a room. Their work was very simple. When you make a call, the operator would unplug your line and plug to the receiver's line. Just that. But what happened when the computer came? The computer took up that job. We don't have operators, telephone operators anymore. But does that mean that people stopped surviving, or people stopped working, or people stopped doing what they're supposed to do to get a living? Of course, no. Maybe the other question is, where do these people go to? These people simply adapted to the technology. They are doing other things because these jobs have been taken by technology. They are now doing other things. So you find them, they are developing those systems, okay? Some are in research of how these systems can be improved, and so many other things, okay? So, how can AI make us better journalists? Number one, as you've heard, AI will make you, as a journalist, more efficient and more effective. When it comes to, for example, news making, and you want to verify your sources, you want to fact check your sources, you want to check the accuracy or the ability of your text or photo or any other media that you're dealing with, AI can make that work very easy for you, unlike before. So the modern journalist is able to work more faster, more effectively, and more efficiently. And above all, AI will continue improving our lives in everything that we do. And I think that is a very good response to that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. Thank you so much. Yes, AI is here to stay and probably improving conditions. Like that. But coming back to the field, for those who are in the field as well, sir, what impact has AI made so far when it comes to implementation of your payroll strategies, things like engagement in terms of content and revenue generation? What kind of impact? Can we see some improvement or things are going down?
Okay, thank you. I should have made this point at the beginning, but let me make it at this point. AI, like any other technology, should be seen as a collaborator. And what I mean with that is that, especially because a lot of the people in this room are students, is that AI does not replace journalism. Just the same way, computers did not replace journalism. So journalism remains, and it is journalism that will get those audiences coming to whatever platform that you have. Whether this platform is driven by AI, whether it's a print newspaper, whether it's a magazine, whether it's radio, it's the content as a journalist that you produce that is going to bring these people to you. And that's where now you look at AI as a collaborator, as technology that helps you enhance this content so that your audiences are able to consume this content in a much better way. And so how we've seen technology, AI, impacting our strategies, whether it's terms of audience engagement, whether it's terms of content optimization, whether it's in terms of paywalls, is that AI has helped us now be able to know our audiences better. Okay. AI has helped us to ensure that we are able to recommend content better. Very soon, we are still experimenting on this. Very soon, you'll be able to come to our platforms across Nation Media Group, our digital platforms, basically our websites. And you will be able to be served a different homepage from the person sitting next to you. Because what we are doing is that we are using AI to start reading the habits of each of our over 3 million users who come to our websites every day. And what we are doing is that we are reading, this one comes, enters through this door, goes through this window, enters this room, and so we are able to learn that habit, and so it will be easier for us to recommend how we do this. And a lot of these analytics tools that we've been using to be able to see this are basically driven by AI. And that's why I started by saying AI, like any other technology, as a collaborator, is a good thing for us to be able to push out our journalism. But that does not mean our journalism changes. That does not mean that we replace our journalists, because we still need that content to be able to push it out there. Let me give you an example. During the finance bill conversations, if you go to TikTok and look at a lot of videos that gained a lot of interest, and so the algorithms of those platforms, which are AI driven, served a lot of people. If you look at them, they are based on content that was done by journalists. They were quoting either newspapers, a website that has done a story on a certain scandal, and so on and so forth. So, in other words, it's the content that journalists have created that is being used to create other content that can be able to be fed through hyper-active, AI-active platforms such as TikTok. So that's why I keep insisting that our journalism will not change. And we'll have to do the work. We'll have to go do those interviews. We'll have to go dig on those numbers. But AI will help us ensure that we are able to analyze these numbers faster than we could have done a few years back. And so that's how we are seeing the impact in terms of how we optimize our content, how we engage audiences. Today, if someone makes a comment on our story on the Nation website, before we humans moderate, the system already moderates and flags. If you put insults there, it will flag it as violence. If you put things that are likely to be seen as a sexual offense, it will flag that. And so it flags that and makes our work easier on how we are able to help engage with our audiences, even if we are going to respond to them from whatever they have commented.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Work should be made easier with AI. But before I open the platform to you all for questions, I know the young ladies have been inspired by Madam Shiko, and they want to ask a lot of questions to you. But I will ask the last question before I open to the audience. Madam Shiko, strategically, thinking long time, what do you think could be put in place as measures in the planning processes for accommodating AI, creativity, and the innovative plans? Thinking long term, what do you think could be done in the industry so that they continue to do better and better with the coming of AI?
Thanks for that question. I think just gaining, or at least allowing journalists or media practitioners to access, for example, individuals like Oliver, who have made this his day-to-day work, because capacity building is very important if you actually want to see your career thrive. And I think the same way we have other jobs which are extremely technical. Look at, for example, in aviation. There is no way that you will be a pilot, have graduated from aviation school, and then 15, 20 years down the line, you think that you're still flying the same kind of aircraft. That just doesn't happen in aviation. I love it because they keep going back, refresher courses. And I think it's very sad to see what's happening in media because if you're not getting access to the kind of information that you're getting on this platform, and I think this is when now you start to see how important these conversations are, ladies and gentlemen, is because once you start getting into the field, instead of being discarded because you are not adapting to the change, why don't we capacity build so that we are seeing more creativity? We are seeing more stories and efficiency actually out there in the field. That way, we're able to serve audiences better. That, unfortunately, is not the situation on the ground. You know, like they say, kwa ground vitu ni different. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So, to me, what I would wish to see is more of that capacity building for journalists, and I know that we should also be taking up that role in terms of pushing ourselves to be able to have such access to information, practical things that we need to know in order to beef up our work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then we may have to open for questions. Questions from the far right. We have experts in the print media, but the print is going nowhere. AI is here, and he is saying print is going nowhere. Then we have got the academic. The media is the biggest beneficiary. Electronic print, AI is good. The student can't wait. You can ask them. Questions, those with questions. So,
thank you very much. My name is Dr. Gikaru. I'm the Dean ICT Media Engineering, Zetech University. I have just 2 questions. One is, I think, Shiko, today you're on the other side of the bench. You're used to greeting me with questions, but today I think I want you to feel the heat. So, question to Shiko. As a journalist, what challenges do you have with AI, and what would you like to see in future? Sorry, I have to ask another one before I sit. The other one is to the media, the nation media representative. My question is, are you not worried about people generating you, using AI, your speech and behavior against you? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prof. And it was unfair because at least you know what's coming up. Me, I didn't know what was coming up. So you're always ahead of me when you come on the show. But thank you so much for that question. What challenges do we face when it comes to AI in media? Let me be honest with you, it's just the fact that we cannot keep up. Like, it's always this rat race. On and on and on, and it's because there's content coming out from everywhere and every corner. And I think one of the challenges now that we are having, even when we're discussing in newsrooms or even amongst journalists, is how can people verify and just be sure that this is authentic information coming out? I think you all saw how big of a scandal it was with Princess Kate. She's soon to be the Queen of England, isn't it? Once her husband does take over. But you remember that there was a huge message of her saying that she's going to take a back seat because she's been diagnosed with cancer. Anyone saw that? You saw that? Are we all aware that that was AI generated? So for the first 2 days, did we believe that that was true about Kate? And then later on it comes out and says, oh, actually, no, that was AI generated. So can you imagine the disruption that came out? BBC wondering, is this true? CNN wondering, oh my God. K24 is like, okay, we'll wait for BBC to say it first. Then and then we'll probably confirm. But just that's on a lighter note. But that's the thing. I mean, it's always this race to always keep up, and today anybody with a camera, with a phone, can actually be a reporter. And so that's just where we are. So we need to see how AI can help us, help our audiences authenticate, and then at the same time, like I had said, just being able to keep up with what's new, what kind of tools are out there that can help us push out information better. We have a lot of learning to do, Prof. Very many of us could be lagging in certain aspects, but there are some tools we figured out, but there are so many other platforms that we need to more or less learn and master. So like I had said earlier on, if you continue to upskill, or rather, yeah, upskill is the word. If you continue to upskill all the time, you will always be at the forefront.
Thanks, Prof, for that question. Oh, of course, we are worried. We are worried, but also at the same time very optimistic. It gives us opportunities for us to not just collaborate with AI developers, the tech industry, to ensure that we are able to create AI that can be used ethically. And that's why, for instance, for us, we started by coming up with a guideline that our journalists can use AI, but they have to use it within certain limits. And then one other thing that we must do as an industry is that other than collaboration with tech, institutions of higher learning, governments, to ensure that there is ethical use of AI, is that the other thing that as the media is that we have to ensure that we advocate for media literacy within society by ensuring that people know how to identify our own content, by ensuring that people are able to have the tools, access to the tools that can help them in ensuring that once they see a video, they can either use that to authenticate the video or do something about it. And so media literacy becomes part of a key play for us. And then lastly is that more than ever, the media has to be very transparent. We have to be very transparent about our biases, our sources, our processes. That way is that we continue to build trust with the society, that when they see something, they'll first ask questions before they can actually consume that content.
Okay, thank you, our panelists, for the opportunity. So I wanted to echo actually what you have said. AI is inevitable, and change also is inevitable. We have to embrace it the way it is, because it is here, and you have to deal with it. Also, I had a question about, you just said there is not going to be loss of jobs, especially in the media industry, especially the radio stations. So the other day we saw the president engaging the youth in an space, and I had a question. It had a lot of participants compared to any other radio station. It was so massive. What do you think about it? Because honestly, it was so huge, honestly. So I thought it was time that even as an institution, we embrace the use of, we have seen podcasts which are widely accepted by the Gen Zs and everyone else. So that was my question, honestly. What do you think? What's your take about the radio stations and spaces and podcasts?
I think it's a good perspective to have, but also one that can be very misleading in sense. That X-Space had the people who actually listened and tuned in were 165,000. In a single day, we have about 20 million radio listeners in Kenya. So you can see that is a very small fraction of society. And so while these new technologies, yes, are good and they can do it, they are not the mass platforms for a lot of people. Today, there are 2.4 million Twitter users in Kenya, or X users in Kenya. out of a population of 50 million Kenyans. So there are 19 million Facebook accounts in Kenya, meaning while we are actually more advanced than many other nations in terms of internet penetration, there are still a lot of people who are outside those platforms. And those are the people who are actually still being served by radio. Radio today is still the #1 media in the country in terms of how many people consume radio. So we need to look at, when you're looking at any statistics, look at it universally. For instance, today, the people who come to, for instance, the Nation website, about, in a day, okay, totally on all our websites, we get about 3 million people. About 400,000 people come to the Nation website each day. About 400,000. That is almost like probably 10 times those who read the newspaper. So there are places where the digital media has inverted, but there are others where it's still yet to invert the curve as we know it.
Yeah, hello. I have 2 questions. I've seated all through the conversation, and you are all praising AI. In the communication sector, like in terms of media and the print media and both those broadcasting, what are the efforts you've put in place to ensure the growth of AI, especially in customization towards achieving your career goals? Let's say, for example, you want AI to excel very well in the media industry. What efforts are you putting towards the growth of this AI so that it can develop or it can suit so well in the media industry? Then the second question I direct it to the Nation Media panelist. Are you not afraid of the way disseminating or dissemination of misinformation being harder when the user are being customized based on their content or based on what they previously saw? Are you feeling that this thing will make it even more harder for you to trace this misinformation and remove it from your platforms? Thank you.
Let me just take that, then I can allow the rest to probably take the first question. But I understand from where you're coming from, and it's something that worries us a lot, because what AI is being used to create some algorithmic bias by some platforms. For instance, even as we look at these technologies as part of the way that we are able to disseminate our content, for instance, Facebook today is deprioritizing news. And so, unless I put more video content on Facebook or more images on Facebook, they are not going to serve news from media houses. That's what they are doing. And so that kind of bias is what now we need to get away from. And that is why I said there is a lot of need for collaboration between those in the tech industry and us in the newsrooms, and even institutions of higher learning that where the journalists have been trained, for us to be able to come up with ways of ensuring that we are able to overcome some of those things. Because what will happen is that you see, like for instance, your YouTube, you are logged in your account, but now you leave it on, and your kids or your nanny watches Oga movies the whole day, and then the following time you are going on YouTube, you are being served Oga movies. You see, for instance, that is what is happening even in terms of news, where someone like Elon Musk, who doesn't care about Africa, for instance, is going to wake up and change the algorithm of Twitter and decide, I'm not going to serve this kind of news. And so how do we build our own platforms? How do we build places where people can come and know that whatever I'm going to get here is trusted and is something that can actually help me out. So that's why I talked about collaboration being one of the key things that we have to do as we move through these murky waters, because this is a new area that most of us have not been in. I can tell you for a fact, it's a learning process. Personally, I started my career as a print journalist. I transitioned into a digital journalist in 2012, about 6 years into my career. And one thing I can tell you for a fact, I've never gone to school to learn digital journalism, but I have to do it anyway. And so it's through collaboration and through looking for opportunities that I've been able to do that. And that's what we have to do all together to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My question is directed to Mr. Oliver. As a digital journalist, kindly enlighten us on how a digital journalist embraces accountability as part of the code of ethics governing the media. How do you take responsibility for the actions that you do or you engage concerning digital journalism, especially on accountability or responsibility of your content? Thank you.
So for me, it's as simple as journalism is guided by particular ethics. There are rules and ethics that guide journalism. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. Whether you are doing your journalism on TV, whether you are doing it on radio, whether you are doing it on digital, you stick to the tenets of journalism. Truth, accuracy, and fairness are the three areas, three things that you have to always consider as a journalist. And so whatever I do, whether I'm doing it on TV or radio, print, or on digital, I have to be accountable to the fact that whatever I'm doing is fair, is truthful, and is factual.
Hello, my name is Onsari Peter, and I'm a media student. Now, I would love to ask, and my question is directed to all of you. During a few days ago, when there was demonstration during the Reject Finance Bill movement by Gen Zs, when there was breach of parliament by the demonstrators, the president gave a speech, and it received a lot of backlash because it was run through AI detector, and it was found out to be more than 80% AI generated. And looking at that speech, you feel like it lacks human touch. It lacked some sense of sensitivity. And that's why it really received a lot of backlash from the public. How will you, in as much as AI has brought about making things easy, but to some extent it makes us lazy, and it tends to bring the unwanted results. Thank you.
Let me take that before I allow the panelists. There's something that you need to understand about AI. What you feed AI is what it gives you back. And so when you use AI to check whether there is AI in a document, what do you expect? Yeah? So what happened in that case, which is something that we checked, because there are so many tools that you can use to verify that kind of information. Someone fed a certain AI the entire speech, and then searched using the same AI, the same speech. What did they expect to receive? So you have to be very careful, and that's why we are saying that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and especially where AI must be explainable. Explainability of AI is a must when we are using it. And that's why I talked about the issue of transparency as one of the things that we have to do, whether we are in academia or in the media industry. We have to be very transparent about how we are using AI and how we are using it to generate content.
I can add a comment on that. I'll tell you for sure that AI is still at a development. In fact, we don't know in the next 10 years how the trajectory of development and research will look like. Probably, some of the challenges that we've mentioned concerning use of AI shall have been addressed, because indeed we agree, all of us, that there are challenges. For example, we've heard about biases. There's a lot of biases inherent in the algorithms that are used with these systems. Okay? And this has been proven through research. Again, as you said, some of the content we might generate might lack human touch, the human face, the human element. Probably because these systems are still at development. Probably these challenges with new innovations that are coming, new knowledge that is coming, AI is likely to get more and more perfect. Thank you.
Let me stand because I think I'm a Gen Z as I ask the last question. Mine is based on the comment that Oliver, you made, but I think it is open to any member who can answer it. And I think one of the comments that Oliver, you made is that AI, we should take it positively because it will also free us to go and do other stories that are more detailed and matters. For example, like investigative stories. So that probably if AI is doing things that can be done comfortably in the newsroom, I as a journalist, I can go back to the field and do an investigative story. Just give a case in point. This last Sunday, there was a very good piece on Tom Mboya, okay, the killing of Tom Mboya and how it happened. There was a very something that I found it to be very interesting. Even there's a very small nitty-gritty piece of information. Like on that particular day, it is said that Tom Mboya was supposed to go and watch a match between AFC and Gor Mahia, and he had released his bodyguard. So, do you believe AI can still be in a position to do such kind of investigative stories, especially the ones that are from older years, like the one for Tom Mboya? Any member can answer.
That's a good question. You know, one of the challenges now that we are facing, and I think our DOP, Director of Photography, I'll give him that title, actually said is that you're starting to see a new breed of journalists coming up who are highly dependent on technology to do their work, and that's really now where the danger comes in. When I was hosting the annual journalism media awards just recently, where obviously we're recognizing excellence in journalism across the field, you'll be surprised, you don't even have to be in some of these mainstream media houses to scoop an award. It's about how good of a storyteller you are. And I remember one Smita, if you know who he is, he's a writer, he's been a writer with Standard Group for the longest, was actually talking about, oh, young people today are very lazy. In the newsroom, they don't seem to understand or do anything. And one lady who was Gen Z was actually given the microphone in the room, and she says, well, you know what, if AI can write my story for me, then I don't need to do it. If it can be subbed for me, then I don't need to do it. So what does that tell you? So that journalistic spirit is starting to wither away for a lot of individuals because they are highly dependent on technology, as opposed to it doing what they have talked about, helping you advance. Because that's the whole point. It's about how do we leverage on it to make us better journalists. And so this is the danger that we're talking about. Is that piece something that we can say, okay, fine, 100% truthful, the facts are there when we're talking about Tom Mboya, what had actually happened, but it needs you to know a bit of history for you to be able to write a piece like that. You don't just wake up and start talking about the history of Kenya from the clouds. You actually have to do your work. And so to everybody who's in this room, it starts with you having that need and that spirit and that drive to actually want to be a good storyteller. Then the AI comes in. It's not AI will write your story for you. Also, what if AI can sub my story for me so it doesn't really matter? I hope that answers it. Okay. Okay.
Just one short one. Just like we appreciate other people's work when you are doing research, don't you think if I suggest that if I do a speech that is AI generated, then when I'm done, I appreciate that this one is from AI. Then we move on.
Yeah, it was so interesting. Yeah, the discussion was so interesting. And yeah, this was so good. But as a way of closing now, as we go down, we ask the student, after all this discussion, is it worth it to do a degree in journalism? Is it worth it with A?
Well, thank you. Technically, yes, it is important and it is worth it. Of course, you won't tell AI to do something if you don't know what you want. I mean, we learn journalism, right? You start with storytelling, you're told develop a story, give me a concept of what you want to do. I know most of us, and don't lie. You guys, when you're given a project of, go give me a short film, you go tell the AI what? ChatGPT, you tell it what? Give me a what? An idea of a short film that I can do and it is easy. You guys do that, right? And then you come up with a script. Okay, that's not the main thing, but the main thing is that you are working on it. And that is why we're saying, don't let AI make you lazy. Work on it, show what you can do, okay? Using AI. And with that, of course, you're going to make it through this. Go a step with AI. When AI grows, make that step. It can grow, grow. Don't be left behind. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. You can clap hands for our panelists as we go down. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Media. I request that we stay here for a minute. We appreciate you because you have done well. It was an interesting session. We really thank you. We want to award you for the good work. Zetech, we are very kind. Allow me, before we award you, to recognize the presence of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Jenga Munene. He's around. Thank you, Professor, for finding time to come. Engineer, kindly, this is your area. I request that you award these great people for doing very good. Dr. Nyasha, we appreciate you for the good work. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Christine, thank you for the good work. We are proud of you as a student, and we wish you all the best. Shiko, we see you on the screen. Today we have seen you live. I don't know whether in our houses we will give them peace. We were with Shiko. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming to Zetech. And we will take a group photo, so we kindly wait. Shiko, kindly, we wait for a minute to take a group photo of the panelists. Dr. Shege, our own, thank you. You have inspired us. We appreciate. Mr. Oliver from Nation, thank you very much. From your busy schedule, you are able to come. We appreciate you. So let's have a group photo. The cameraman, let me know when you're done so that we can go to our last session. Thank you, Team Media. We appreciate you. I want us to go to our last session of the day, and you can bear me witness that it has been interesting. We have learned, we have heard of things we never thought they are. So we're going to the leveraging AI to embrace future innovations for circularity. Simnasikia hiyo kizungu. Whom do you expect to be in that English? Our very own DVC, Professor Njuguna, is the moderator. I humbly request you to come and invite your panel. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Good afternoon. Mmechoka? It's been a day and a half, so we still have a half to go, right? And that was an exciting session. Can you clap for them again? So this is going to be a short session, but nonetheless very exciting and educative, because now I am bringing the techies. I am bringing the experts. I am bringing you the machine learning experts and the people who teach coding and they know themselves. So we're going to hear from them. Okay, so I'll just give a very brief profile of the people who are going to talk to us today, and they will come in front. And I will start with our first panelist. Our first panelist is the Dean of the School of ICT, Media and Engineering at Zetech University since 2022. He previously served as head of department and senior lecturer at Egerton University from 2008 to 2022. I don't forget to say that Egerton was my alma mater. And earlier as a lecturer and assistant lecturer from 1996. He has industry experience as a management trainee at DT Dobie and as a high school teacher. He holds a PhD in computer engineering from Dresden University of Technology, an MSc and a BSc in computer engineering from Kyiv Polytechnic University. His certifications include faculty upskilling, 21 CLD, Azul AI 900 from Microsoft ADC, multiple CCNA certifications from Cisco, and an Oracle DBA certification. He has published extensively in refereed journals on topics like graduate studies in computing, personal finance systems for students, and road crime control systems. He has authored modules on computer applications and IT data management and presented at international conferences, including the 5th Zetech University Sustainable Innovations Conference and the ISTED Conference in Canada. His book, Mobility-Based Routing Overhead Management for Reconfigurable Wireless Ad Hoc Networks, was published in 2006. He has supervised master students and initiated projects such as the e-timetable and the academic division management system at Egerton University. He has participated in numerous training workshops and coached by the Zain African Challenge. He's a peer reviewer for the Commission of University Education and the Inter-University Council of East Africa as an external examiner for several universities. In community service, he is the chairman of the LEPIC 15 company and secretary of the Kanunga Old Boys Association. He is affiliated with DAAD Alumni Network and IEEE and is proficient in Russian and German. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our heads together for Dr. Engineer Gikaru. And engineer is written as I-N-G. Dr. Engineer Gikaru. Our second speaker is an IT enthusiast with a strong bias towards management information systems and software development training. He also has a 9-year experience and a proven track record in educational management as Director of Career Services, earning him accolades and professional engagements from Equity Group Foundation, Kenya Education Fund, the British Council, and LEAP Africa. Currently, he's a site director of Zone 1 Kisumu, which is an offshoot of Lake Hub. This is a comprehensive initiative aimed at fostering innovation and technology in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Mr. Caleb Nyoero, Site Director, Zone 01. If you say coding, then you say Caleb. When I say coding, say Caleb. Coding? Caleb. Karibu sana bwana Caleb. Our third speaker is Fadhili Mulinya, from the African Meta Club. Fadhil is a seasoned blockchain developer and Web3 enthusiast, deeply immersed in DeFi and ReFi projects. With a robust understanding of blockchain technology, he specializes in crafting innovative solutions that leverage Web3 protocols to drive transformative change. In addition, he's a skilled events organizer and host with a focus on curating impactful gatherings within the Web3 and blockchain communities. Building vibrant communities is at the core of his professional ethos. He excels in community development strategies, leveraging insights to cultivate engaged and inclusive ecosystems that thrive on collaboration and knowledge sharing. His ability to forge strategic partnerships has been instrumental in elevating the organizations he collaborates with, propelling them towards new heights of success. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Fadhil Mulinya from the Africa Meta Club. Fadhil, karibu sana. You have heard all those things, blockchain. Don't leave this place because before you have asked him, what is blockchain? And I guess I have one other speaker who I will call forward, Mike Francis. Mike Francis. I don't know whether I should read his profile ama niache mjijazie. Does he look familiar? Does he look familiar? I'll give Mike the mic so that he can introduce himself.
Hello everyone. My name is Mike Francis Nganga. I'm an electrical engineer, graduating hopefully by the end of this year. So my expertise is in electrical engineering and as well as machine learning, which is a subset of AI. I guess in a nutshell I've summarized my profile. Thank you.
Karibu sana. I wanted you to hear his voice because in the previous conversation, you heard our students speaking. And you thought it is maybe because they're in media. You thought maybe because they are in media. He says he's in electrical engineering. Put our hands together for Mike. Thank you so much. Now to my panelists and to the audience. I read somewhere from the book of Matthew that at one point, Elijah and Moses appeared to Jesus. Have you read that verse? Elijah and Moses appeared to many years after their death. Then in 2013, I read somewhere that Michael Jackson, who had died in 2009, appeared to people in Vegas. And you can Google Michael Jackson, Vegas 2013. Michael Jackson appeared to his fans in Vegas. How did he appear? How did Michael Jackson appear? Not like Moses and Elijah, but how did he come? As a hologram. So I want to believe that artificial intelligence didn't start with yesterday, didn't start with ChatGPT, as some of us seem to think, didn't start with the alleged president's speech of AI-generated speech, started a long time ago. I believe even before that one of Moses and Elijah appearing to Jesus. So these are people in tech. They understand technology. So today, for this session, I want us to focus more on prophecy. I want them to tell us about the future of AI and circular economy in their areas. So I'll start with you, Engineer Karu, a seasoned trainer who teaches machine learning and assembly language. Tell us how you plan to leverage on AI to ensure a circular economy.
Thank you. Thank you. What I would like to say is that, first of all, AI actually deals with large volumes of data so that you can train, even if it's a robot or it is a software system in terms of machine learning, it has to have data. And that is why you had the previous panel was talking about what you have put in is what you get out. But beyond that, it deals with algorithms. It does not regenerate something that was spoken or something that was written. It uses algorithms so that they can be able to analyze the data and come up with the right information. So for the future of AI, AI has a bright future. Well, It has been mentioned that AI is going to replace about 50 million jobs by 2030. On the other hand, it is going to generate 70 million jobs, which means there is still going to be a deficit of about 20 million. So AI is not replacing all the jobs. AI is actually supplementing and creating more. So that we can make sure the 50 does not go away, we need to adapt it. We need to deal with it. Somebody mentioned that AI is like COVID-19, which to some extent I agree. When the COVID first came, the number of deaths were quite low. They moved up until they reached the top. Then they started going down until now, actually the figure is very low. So that is because people learned what COVID was, research was done about COVID, and then finally the immune system was reinforced. So with AI, COVID came maybe to destroy, but AI, it is us who think that it is coming to destroy. But eventually, it is going to actually create better human beings, create better environment. When we talk about the circular economy, AI is there so that we can be able to collect as much data as possible, analyze that data, and be able to predict. It is only this year that we had floods in the country. These floods came because we had not collected enough data. We were not aware what is going to happen. We had not collected data about the weather patterns, the history, the today, so that we can be able to have prediction. But with time, now that we are embracing AI, we are going to have it better and we are going to be more prepared. Again, when you talk about the carbon trading, we are talking about use of efficient use of energy. Again, here we are talking about leveraging technology so that we can be able to increase the efficiency of the energy that we generate. We are even talking about the solar energy, the power, the wind power energy, and all sorts of energy. That if we can be able to collect enough data of how to generate this particular energy and how to conserve this energy, then I think we can be good to go. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much. Caleb, as a person dealing with training and startups, what are the key considerations in adopting AI to enhance efficiency and innovation in a circular economy?
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Junguna. Also, Professor Munene, thank you so much for the invitation to Zetech University. So maybe before we proceed, I just want to ask a question to the audience, if you don't mind. How many of you know what artificial intelligence is? By a show of hands, kindly. Audience, if you know what AI is, please raise your hands, because I felt we might be spending a lot of time talking about AI. Okay, thank you so much. How many of you know what circularity is? Circularity. We are talking about how we can use AI to leverage on, how we can leverage on AI to embrace circularity or to further circularity. Thank you so much. So maybe you'll just give me a minute to tell you what circularity is, what a circular economy is. A circular economy simply means that whatever you have, these products that we have, they are retained within the economy. They go as waste, but they can still come back into the economy. Let me say, for example, if you have a phone, is there a way that when that phone comes to the end of its life, it can still be reintroduced to the economy to generate income and do a lot of things? So that is what we are talking about. So maybe I'll start. I'm from Zone 01 Kisumu, a software development company. We are thinking of setting up in Nairobi. I'm happy that we have Zetech here so we can set up in Zetech. Next year, we target people who have finished school. So from my end, I've been asked, what are the models we can use to embrace circularity? So personally, I'm very keen on predictive analytics. How do we use analytics to ensure that the circularity is in the economy? For example, there's something interesting happening in Lake Victoria. For the first time, we have what we call fish cages. And there are IoT sensors in those fish cages in the lake. So you can know the temperature of water, you can know the level of fish feeds, you can know whether the fish is starving or not. Are we okay? And then you can take preventive measures to know what to do and at what time. So personally, when I look at AI and in relation to this question, I'm solely focusing on predictive analytics. Maybe even in agriculture, when you talk about soil moisture, are you able to tell a farmer somewhere in Kinangop that this is your soil moisture, these are the nutrients that are needed, and how do you tell them? Through AI, you give them an application that they can go on and see, I need to water my plants, I need to do this. So that is my understanding of that. Thank you so much. I hope I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Fadil, there's something you call the metaverse.
Yeah.
Tell us something about the metaverse and AI and how you are going to use the metaverse to unleash the power of AI on the circular economy.
Okay, so that's a slight good question. First of all, about Meta Club. So before even started the metaverse, how did Meta Club came in? So Meta is just we are a community.
Recording stopped.
So Meta is just a community of techies, a community of enthusiasts who who love Africa and want to expose what us as African does to the rest of the world. So metaverse, we saw like let's say we have we saw like us as Africans, we have a lot of things we need to do. Like we have projects, we have companies, we have these circular innovations that we have. So we came to find a way on how we can be able to show it to the rest of the world. Through avenues like this ones, yes, we can be able to show them, but we came and saw other people in JKUAT, let's say, Uganda, Tanzania, they can be able to come in here. So another alternative, how can you do it? Through the metaverse. So what is the metaverse? The metaverse is just a virtual reality of this one, whereby we can have a virtual meeting like this one, whereby we can have a panels like this one, all simulated in a virtual environment. That is just the metaverse, like a simulation of the real environment. So how can you be able to use metaverse to advance circular economy? So a good example is we have this metaverse environment with a company called Ubuntuverse. So with Ubuntuverse, we have like a virtual avatar representation of Amadou. So Amadou is the CEO of Ubuntu. So let's say someone wants to get to understand what Ubuntu does. We custom train the Amadou avatar through an AI model, and whereby we train the avatar with the data, whereby if someone wants to understand about Ubuntu, we'll come and have a one-on-one conversation with Amadou and get to understand what Ubuntu does. Same example is maybe somebody doesn't understand about circular economy. We can have like a virtual avatar people in the metaverse. People can come and ask them, okay, what is the circular economy? How can you leverage circular economy in our day-to-day activities and stuff like that? So that is how you can be able to use that. Have you answered it?
Thank you so much, Fadil. Mike, Zetech Innovator. First of all, tell us about your innovations at the IZ Hub.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me. And my innovation is based on security system. I'm using machine learning to detect the faces of the user. So I'm able to detect different features of your face. And the system, if you are registered in the system will grant you access. So it's a face recognition-based system, and the system is basically based on the fact that we can be able to identify different features. Just like humans, we detect individuals. We can also train the machines to detect different features to identify a certain individual. So I'm also incorporating things like attendance marking with my system. So, but it can also be deployed in any situation. So that is my invention, and you can equally visit me at tent 19. That is where my exhibition is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Before you release the mic, we would want to know, how is your innovation going to contribute towards the circular economy?
Okay. When it comes to artificial intelligence, as we've been told, it's heavily dependent on data. So my invention as an electrical engineer, I'm able to use artificial intelligence first of all, to develop effective circuits, in that if I'm able to maximize and optimize on the power factor of my system, I'm able to, first of all, save on the battery life of my system. So, for example, if it's an electrical system, and I'm able to use the data that I can get to train my model so that it can optimize on the usage of the power to run my system, it will help me so that I'm able to use minimal amount of power to run the system. This is also applicable in so many situations. Like, for example, in the power systems, for example, in Ngong, they have a windmill power system. And also in equally any regenerative or renewable energy. If we are able to know the usage of the power, for example, most of our loads that we use are inductive loads. For example, the TVs, the laptops, all those devices are inductive loads. So with the help of AI, we are able to know how the circuits are operating. And with that data, we can be able to optimize on the energy usage and the consumption of energy in the various electrical systems. So that is, I guess, some of the applications that come into place when we talk about AI and the electrical systems. Yes.
Thank you, Mike. Well and good. Fadil, please tell us, what are you doing to ensure that there is no fear of AI, particularly amongst the older generation?
Oh, a good example. So one answer is just education, awareness. We educate. So I mentioned that we showcase African stories. And how we do it, we educate, we empower, we upskill people through to understand AI and these emerging technologies like AI, XR, AR, and the whole of the metaverse. So we educate. And apart from educating also through events, like also you have a booth down there. Through this booth, you can come and whereby we can, you can have like a simulation of what you're really trying to do. Yeah, we just educate.
Okay, thank you so much. Caleb, as a practitioner in the industry, now dealing with AI, I would say at an international level, how would you rate Kenyans' adoption of AI in Africa?
Personally, also based on my travels in Africa, I think we are number one or number two, slowly behind Nigeria, based on my feeling. Before coming here, my brother finished Form 4 last year, and then I told him I have a conference. He's also going to pursue computer science. He's joining university in a month's time. So I asked him that this is the topic I'm going to present on. I wanted to know what's his perspective about it. And he went to ChatGPT, pushed the question there, and presented his work to me. And to me, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Yes, he did not use Google and stuff, but it seems that Kenyans are embracing artificial intelligence because we are talking about augmenting work, increasing productivity. If it can, there is no problem. I think the only thing missing in AI is the human element. For example, we were discussing the president's speech. But personally, the question is, what is the role of AI? If it can make work get done, what is the issue? So the only thing that was lacking from what was lifted on AI was the human element. The script writer did not redo it. So from where I sit, Kenya is well positioned in this continent and even globally. And the fact that we are an English-speaking nation also makes it better for us. So we are on the right track. We are one of the best. I believe we are ahead of South Africa. We are ahead of Egypt. We might only be lagging behind Nigeria. So in terms of AI adoption, we are good to go. And also if you look at the Gen Z protests that happened the other day, they were using their phones. On those phones, they were using AI tools to redo the script, to do what you had, what Oliver was talking about, those breaking news and stuff. So we are well positioned. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Engineer Gikaru, what is your take on AI training at graduate level? Do we need it or is it overrated?
Thank you. At graduate level, we definitely need AI because that is the top level where we can be able to do the analysis, to do the research on it, and to do the correct implementation. Because right now, as somebody said, AI is quite new. And with new things, you expect a lot of wrong things to happen. So it is very important to have AI at the graduate level so that we can be able to analyze not only the technology, but also the effects of AI in the communities. When we talk about the circular economy, we need a lot of research so that we can be able to see how efficient the AI tools are in the circular economy. So at graduate level, it is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'll ask for the closing remarks based on your question. And I'll start with you, Mike. What are your fears about AI in the future? What do you fear most?
That's a very interesting question. And one thing when it comes to AI, we know, for example, in our background, we all come from an African setup, and equally any other traditional background. We have the issue of culture. So AI is really disrupting the cultural space. For example, my system is a face recognition system. Now, when it comes now to implementation, and that is one of the challenges that I'm facing, we are a bit skeptical as users to expose ourselves to maybe camera, for example. And that is why I can give an example why some Altman's system, which was based on WorldCoin, the one that was scanning the iris, that is why it was banned in some countries like Kenya, because we are a bit skeptical when it comes to scanning. So even some of the users of my system are asking me, are you recording my face? So I'm now forced to explain that I'm not recording the faces, I'm scanning the faces. So when it comes to the issue of culture, it's a bit, it's a bit, what can I like the specific word, but the thing is AI and is somehow not addressing some issues when it comes to culture. So my fear as an innovator is if you can be able to have a way that we can align our cultures with the issue of AI and the technologies that are currently now in the space, we'll be able to be a bit step forward. Yes.
Very well. Fadil, what are your fears and the challenges, and what do you think you can do about them?
On AI, okay. So personally, I'm a developer. I'm a blockchain dev. So fears in terms of personal, like I can say it can, on AI, it can hinder my level of, not say, my critical thinking skills. Because initially, like if I want to do like this particular stuff, I could go deeper and deeper and see, okay, how can I be able to do this stuff? But with the advancements on AI, not in a bad way though, in a positive way, I can be able to use that one to use in a snap of a second, I won't think. So when it comes in the long term, I can be able to see, okay, like my critical thinking skills are kind of getting slower and slower. So to the community, to the people, they see like AI, they can be able to take our jobs, but not really. Because I personally use AI every day. A good example, let's say I want to meet this particular client. On a good note, on a positive note, with the help of AI, I can be able to draft this particular proposal with AI in a faster way. But at some times it can be a bit limiting in terms of thinking. So I don't think it can be able to take our jobs. I can say that way.
Thank you. Caleb, what are your fears and challenges as matters AI are concerned?
Okay, thank you, Prof. I think my biggest fear when it comes to artificial intelligence is ethics. For example, one of these students can get a recording of the Vice Chancellor, put it on an AI tool, and close the institution and broadcast it on social media. So my biggest fear in regards to AI is ethics. And I feel AI will work better in countries with high ethical standards, like the South Asian countries. That is Japan, Indonesia. But that is my fear. You also saw what has been happening in this country in the past few days. The way people have manipulated audios, the way people have manipulated videos. For example, you see a video taken during 2022 being reproduced as it belongs to 2024. So my biggest fear is ethics, and that's why I'm encouraging everybody inside here. All of you need to be programmers. All of you need to be coders, even at the basic level, because in the near future, if you cannot code and program, AI will render you redundant. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Engineer, what are your fears and challenges concerning AI?
Well, my biggest fears are probably the implementation of the AI and the effects because of lack of knowledge of the AI. But if you remember some years back, when computers came, then there was a computer virus, which was actually bringing a lot of problems. Then later, we had antiviruses.
Recording stopped.
And now people are more comfortable using computers. Same case is going to happen with AI. Right now, there are negative effects and fears that he has talked about. And very soon, we are going to have systems that are going to control what people receive from AI. And that is the time we'll have the better benefits of AI. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. We've heard it from our panelists. The need for a policy on how to adapt, a need for ethics, a need for us to get education, a need for us to be programmers. But you can see how comfortable the four of them are, isn't it? Let's clap for them again. And now we'll invite questions from the audience for our panelists. There are very many hands up. Who has a mic for us? My left-hand side today is full of hands up. Someone to circulate for us a mic. The ushers, please. Let's start from the back. Sorry. Let's start from the back coming in front. There's a gentleman near the door there.
Yes, hello. My name is Wilson Mudhoka, and my question goes to Caleb. You have talked about ethics on AI. Right now, it has already happened. This morning we woke up to news
Recording in progress.
From the Dadaab MP Farah, where there is a recording that he said, or else it is purported that he said if he was the president, he could have killed 5,000 Gen Zs who are protesting. When we move to the courtrooms, or if, for instance, today the MP was taken to a court of law, do we have any measures or any ways that the court of law can use to determine and to know whether the video was AI generated or it was not, either now or in the near coming future? Thank you.
Caleb, Waswahili husema swali nyeti.
Thank you so much. That's a very important question. I strongly feel at the moment we have AI tools that can detect whether a tool or an audio is doctored or not. I'm very sure about that. I cannot know the exact name of the tool, but I believe we have such tools. So when it's taken to a court of law, you can actually verify whether that audio is theirs or not. I'll give you a very simple example. When you call Safaricom and you have a problem, they tell you to say something. Cindy, do you guys know what you say? At Safaricom, my voice is my password. And it's very unique. Sometimes if you're in the washroom, it does not work. You have to come back where there is a lot of stable sound so that they can detect that it's your voice or not. So it's true that it's possible to detect whether that's his voice or not. But also when it comes to ethics, just as a rider to whatever we are saying, it boils down to individuals as well. Are you willing to walk the long journey to be the better person in the room at the expense of everybody else? And I want to assure you, because I'm seeing you're still growing and you're young, that it pays to be honest, it pays to be trustworthy, and it pays to do the right things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Big Brother is watching. Another question?
I'm John, and this question is to anyone in the panelist, among the panelists. Okay, so there's a new term you've introduced to some of us, and that's circular economy. Now, the way I've understood circular economy is where we use the current technology with the same amount of resources to still bring in a lot of benefits to the common society, but at no loss to the human population. I think, if my understanding is correct, my question is this. Right now, there are countries, I think I saw robots being used in farms, in agriculture, and I think these robots are driven by AI. But the question posted at the video that I had seen was, these robots that have been used in replacement of human beings, isn't that an issue of AI to the current population? And isn't it something that we need to worry about in the coming future? Because sooner or later, as we have been talking about, AI uses a lot of data to learn and implement. Are we, what is the best solution going forward so that some of us can secure our jobs and be in a safe position in the economy? Thank you.
Can I comment about that? As I mentioned, AI is going to remove 50 million and create 70 million jobs. When you talk about the labor market, the robots that are being used to replace what human beings are doing, I don't think that is a very bad idea, because what would happen in such circumstances is redeploy the people who are doing that work to less manual jobs. Because the AI, where the AI, the machines are working, most of those places are high-risk places, especially when you talk about robots that are working in the factory. We normally have so many cases of accidents happening in the factory. And when a human being is involved, well, human parts are not easy to replace. So why not redeploy them to less risky areas so that the production can actually go higher and the profits can be realized faster? And that one, I think that's why we are saying we need policies such that when those profits go higher, the people that are redeployed should actually be compensated with higher yields. That is my take.
Okay, so to add on that, I think I'll give you this analogy. Like initially, before 1950s there, we had like this kind of jobs, like a job like people who will wake up in the morning and ring the bell for everyone, city clock, people who would take letters to people, messengers. We had like people who would, like this kind of jobs. But as time went by, we can't say like, but the AI didn't start like now. It started earlier on, but it came with another definition. You see. So, but when those kind of stuff were kind of reduced with more advanced technologies, it came to a number of jobs now started coming in. So we now coming in, see people making smartwatches like that one. People now coming in making these analog watches for portable ones and stuff like that. So, and another one, we as human beings, we need to be adaptability. So the adaptability, I can be able to understand, okay, this thing that I'm doing currently, with advancements in AI, let me give this rank with like a developer. Let's say I'm a developer. when I want to create like a, let's say like a basic front-end web page, like HTML and CSS, I can just go to ChatGPT and draft like a basic HTML, CSS. Me as a developer, if I'm very much concerned with my career, I'll say, okay, if this AI can do this stuff, what will happen the next 10 years? Because AI is advancing, definitely. So you'll have to now start looking on other ways and I can be able to do that particular kind of job. So it's just adaptability. We can't blame AI, we just have to be adaptable.
Okay, thank you. Another question?
Yeah, to add on that.
Just a minute, please. Something to add? Caleb, thank you.
I just wanted to pose a question to him. A student who embraces AI and a student who does not embrace AI, who is better? I'm posing the question to the audience. Maybe you guys can just answer in unison. A student who has embraced AI and a student who has not embraced AI. Who do you think is a better student? The one who has embraced AI. We can come to the academic field. We have members of the academia here. The academy here. Lecturers who are using AI in their classes, in marking exams, and those who do not, who are better off? And that's why I'm telling you, if you don't embrace AI, if you don't embrace artificial intelligence, you'll go home. Thank you so much.
He says AI or perish.
Thank you for the insightful discussion. I have one question and then I can make a contribution. Now that we are talking about AI and circular economy, in this country we have real problems with e-waste and garbage collection. Can AI provide solutions for that menace? That's a question. Then we've brought in the ethical dimension when it comes to the use of AI. And I'm asking myself, do you need more police? Do you need more laws so that we use AI the right way? And I'm persuaded that what we need is to train people on how to use the AI. That's why we're saying it needs to start even in the universities so that people can know about honesty, they can know about responsibility and all that when it comes to AI application. Because right now there's a lot of misuse of AI. I think if we move that direction, then we should be able to embrace ethical AI, all of us. So we need a lot of sensitization and teaching and learning of how to use AI. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a question on AI and e-waste.
Okay. Thank you for that question. And to begin with, it is very possible for AI to help us in waste management. For example, I have a friend whose project is based on smart bin. So that system is able to detect the various waste materials that we have, for example, in a bin. So you are able to know the type of waste that you have, and the system is very automated in such a way that is able to notify you when your waste is ready, maybe for further processing or for anything or whatever you want to do with it after that. So we also have players who are actually in that space. For example, we have the Carbon Sink. It's an Australian-based company which deals in decarbonization. So it has IoT systems where it's able to detect different carbon in the different parameters of carbon in the atmosphere, and it's able to decarbonize it in such a way that it's able to use it in the soil in a mechanism that it helps in decarbonization of the environment. We also have what we call biomass gasification. So there are systems based on AI that are using the technology to use biomass and that kind of technology in a farm to be able to generate electricity and renewable energy in that space. Okay, when it comes now to the other question of law, you see what happens with technology. For example, the Al-Samaltman system which was scanning the eye, that was a system which it was not in the previous era. And when it was introduced, now it calls for the authorities responsible to come up with the laws to govern these AI systems and the technological systems in such a way that they are not posing a harm to the mass or to the users or any individual. So in terms of law, I guess there are mechanisms in place and there are people who actually do monitor these systems when they come into the market or into the social space, and they are able to govern whatever is being used by the end user. And I'll give my fellow panelists a chance to add or to...
I hope I've not taken a lot of time. So maybe just to add on to the question of e-waste and how can AI help. Just to add on to what my fellow panelist has said. Remember in Congo, they can track where the cobalt is mined using artificial intelligence, who actually mined it. And that's how the world got to know about the child soldiers who were recruited into mining cobalt. And you know, for you to use your phone, and for you to use the batteries, the hybrid cars, 70% of that composition is cobalt. So you see, how can AI help us in managing waste and in the circular economy? We can actually know that this type of model has this lifespan. It was taken from this place, it expires at this point, and it needs to be regenerated at this point. So that is a way artificial intelligence can actually help in waste management. I can bring it closer home. Let us look at Nairobi Water and Storage Company. If they deployed IoT sensors, they can know that Langata does not have water because there is a leakage at this point, and go and fix it. And they don't need to come to manually do this, you understand? So that is how we can incorporate AI in managing e-waste and achieving what we call circularity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Another question here?
Okay, thank you. My question is about governance. So for example, in Saudi Arabia, they have a minister of AI. So do you think that Kenya has reached that level where we also need to incorporate AI in our administrative or rather in the government? Or if not possibly having a ministry, we can have maybe possible departments in the various ministries. So secondly is about the job security. So just as a clarification of something you stated earlier, is it true to say that the people who lose their jobs are the people who are not able to use AI?
Thank you.
About governance, it's going to be a bit difficult to have a ministry that is going to be in charge of AI. But now that we have the ministry that deals with ICT, they can also be given that responsibility. But the problem would be how to control, because data is not only in Kenya. Data is all over. Unless you start tracking information in the internet, which again is going to stumble in people's rights, it's going to be difficult. What probably needs to be done is to use now the AI or to use technology so that we can be able to control the use of AI and what the AI is actually generating. It's like, I would have also asked a question of how moderation needs to be done. But now, moderation can only be done by the AI systems themselves, because it would be difficult. Like, I watched a clip some times back about TikTok. People are employed to monitor the TikTok and withdraw whatever is not, whatever is not right. But before it is withdrawn, there are normally some challenges. Then again, what they decided is that before that TikTok is put into the market, there are people who are monitoring, and if it is not having the right material, then they pull it out. But now that one has come with very negative effects the people that are actually monitoring and trying to analyze the TikTok films. So that would be the work of AI, because AI does not have emotions. The people who are actually monitoring those traffics are actually depressed. They were actually coming out saying, even if the pay is good, we are depressed. But an AI system will not be depressed. And that would be one of the ways of controlling such traffic. Thank you. On jobs.
Those with AI will be getting jobs?
Unfortunately, in future without AI, it will be difficult to get the jobs. But there is a way out. Learn and relearn, and your job will be secure.
Thank you. I think I'll move to this other side.
Good.
Unless there was, okay, there's already someone with a mic. I'll take two on this side, then I move to the other side.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Ali Akbar Ahmed. I'm a student of computer science. My question is to Dr. Gikaru, my lecturer. The question about the predictive analysis about the climate change. We know climate change is an unpredictable data set. How can you be able to predict it and we don't have the predictive data set? So that is my first question. The second question is about metaverse. Any panelists can answer that. So metaverse, I've seen some news in the internet that says the metaverse is about to die. Yani it's declining. So how will you tell people, or how will you sell to the people that metaverse is still going? And about, I want to answer about the AI used in cleaning. There's a YouTuber known as Mark Rober. He uses robotics to clean the ocean. So you can just go and search on YouTube, Team C's Mark Rober. You'll see how the implementation of robots is used in the cleaning of the ocean. So thank you.
Thank you. Engineer Gikaru?
First of all, you cannot predict without data, because a prediction, you use an algorithm so that you can be able to predict. That algorithm is fed with data so that it can learn the sequence, so that it can learn how events are taking place, so that it can be able to predict what is going to happen next. And that is why sometimes you can request information from ChatGPT and doesn't give you the information, because it doesn't have data. So that you can be able to predict, you have to have data, and you have to have the correct algorithms.
Thank you for
Okay,
the question.
Chill. I was to answer that question regarding the metaverse. First of all, the metaverse is not dead. We are just beginning. So I think I'll just start with the recent one. Recently, we had this. So the Gen Z revolution. I mean, so whereby we had like around 14 people died. So what we did as us, we had a candle lighting memoriam in the metaverse. So that is one way. And another thing, if metaverse was dying, we couldn't be able to be here because first of all, there are a lot of opportunities here and there. Let me give you like one case scenario. There's this university, is it in China? They are incorporating the metaverse, whereby US guests, maybe people who wanted to come to understand what Zetech does, they doesn't need to come here specifically in Kenya to see how Zetech is. We can have like a virtual simulation of Zetech University, like from the gate to up to here, even this event, same one, via the metaverse. And again, events like this one here, as you're approaching, what you're evangelizing is, you can also have another way on having stuff, like events. With these events here, those people who are not able to join events here, they could also be able to join via the metaverse. So with those applications, we have so many applications, by the way. And I mentioned earlier on, there's this company we work with called Ubuntu. And with what Ubuntu does, Ubuntu, they tokenize gold assets. Tokenizing means you can have a fraction of a gold by just buying a portion of their fungible Ubuntu token. So, and one way on how they do their marketing is through the metaverse, because we have people who have incorporated the metaverse in doing their day-to-day activities. See, there's also this one metaverse environment called My African Dream. And the African Dream, people are leveraging the metaverse to come explore Africa, because we are having virtual avatars representing giraffes, elephants, and stuff like this one here. Other ways, let's say I'm a guest. I want to go to, let's say, Switzerland, and I don't know how Switzerland is, and maybe I don't want to incur the cost of maybe booking a tour guide and stuff. You can just have a virtual Switzerland how it is, and I can be able to travel to Switzerland, see everything see how everything works in Switzerland and stuff like that. Someone mentioned about how to educating about waste and stuff. So with that one there, we can have a virtual simulation of a futuristic environment whereby without this waste and how this pollution does, how can the environment looks like, how can the world look like. So I think that is one application, and we have so many types of applications. The metaverse is not dead, we are just starting.
Just starting. One more question from this side.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My question is one for Fatir. You were saying about decentralization and the Web3. As we go on for the schools and among the economists and the accountants, we are being taught about the banking system, the old banking system, and how it runs. How do you anticipate in making the knowledge of the Web3, the decentralization market, because it is going to make let me say the cash forum and the bank forum to go down, because right now let's speak about the meme coins, the bitcoins, the PEPFI. They are taking over some of the cash because they are more secure. They are easy to be carried around, because as long as you have the part of remembering whatever you have, how will it help? How does it help in the circulation? The second question is, how do you think the schools and the institutions are going to engage into making the students more knowledgeable into the AI, so that when we get to the job market, we are well versed in understanding the AI version of it in schools, in the job market?
Okay, so on the first question, decentralization and Web3. So as she was introducing me, sorry I forgot your name. She mentioned that I'm a community builder, I'm an events organizer, and a Web3 events host. So what I do basically, I try and educate about Web3 and blockchain in every avenue as much as possible. Either it's through hosting events, virtually or physically, either it's through growing communities, Web3 communities, and I won't go that deeper because I think that is out of the scope for the topic of today. But the people who are here, Web3 is just the new iteration of the web, whereby we are giving security and power back to the people, whereby we are not giving all our data to centralized entities like the likes of and YouTube and name them, and we only give them what they need to have. So about banking, the fiat currencies, and because that is just about crypto. I don't educate about crypto, but I understand it. I understand because I use it. Tomorrow I think we'll be having a masterclass. We'll have, not a masterclass really, a session about fintech and stuff. But on that one, the traditional banking system, they can't die. We must use them, because I can't be able to go and use to transact in this particular shop using my USDT. USDT is, by the way, is a tokenized version of US dollar, whereby it's pegged on a one-to-one version basis. You will have to use the normal Kenyan shilling to use that one. So in crypto, I can't tell you much about crypto. Maybe you talk later on.
Caleb, do you want to comment about crypto and the banking sector? Or you're also a hard cash person like I?
Definitely, if you are in tech, you must have tried crypto, having a wallet and things like that. So maybe just as what my fellow panelists has said, I do not see the death of of the traditional banking sector, not in the near future. I also don't believe that crypto or Bitcoin will eventually replace the traditional banking sector. Because also in the long run of it, if you look at it, it's anchored on the traditional banking system. But it will augment, it will disrupt that market. That I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're looking for 2 more questions, and I'm moving to this side. There is a mic there. I can see a hand on the other extreme end. So those are the last 2.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My question goes to Caleb. NASA, like the national astronauts, like for way too long, they have had the vision of going to Mars. And recently, like they had, like they were collecting, they were looking for young innovators, innovators to come up with some innovation which are using AI that can be used to take us to Mars. Like they were arguing that if we are ever going to Mars, like we first have to take AI there so that it can prepare before we arrive there. So Caleb, do you ever think that AI will take us to Mars, and how long will that take?
I told you the prophesy. I told you the prophesy.
So I'll just say something simple, allow my other guests also to get in. So personally, I'm sorry to say this in this gathering, but my last born son is named after Elon Musk. So that's how much I believe in what Elon Musk is doing. And I think I got to love Elon Musk when he brought for us a reusable rocket. Like before, rockets would go to space and it would be obsolete by the time it comes back. But you see, what he has done is quite different. That the rocket that has gone to the moon can still go back to the moon. There are only some parts of it that become obsolete. And that has saved NASA a lot of billions of dollars. Back to the topic that you're talking about using AI to get us to the Mars. I want to say something. With AI, you cannot be too sure. In that, what I'm trying to say, it is a possibility. It is a very serious possibility. Look at those people who died while going to see the Titanic. You understand? They made that tool, you understand? But now there's another billionaire who is doing the same thing. You cannot stop human curiosity. And now that AI is influencing that, I'm very sure that maybe in 10, 20 years, we'll have human beings living in Mars. Let me just mention that. Thank you.
That should be our last question, unless there is a one very burning one. That should be our last one.
Yeah, hello. I was quite worried when some of the panelists were admitting that AI will lower their level of critical thinking. I think with AI, it should give you an ability to critique whatever the AI has given you, so that you can regenerate the AI to be better, or you can get the content from the AI and make it better. So as a developer in AI, I want to ask this question. Maybe Engineer Gikaru or Caleb can take it. In Africa, we have a very few or low penetration of natural language processing in terms of our vernacular dialect. And we've seen that with English, it is very much easier to identify some certain types of sentiments and be able to pull down misinformation or incitements. How do you predict AI will help us adopt this power that has been leveraged with English language to our local vernacular language, bearing in mind that the penetration of AI in Africa is not that much compared to the Europe?
Maybe I go first. I attended a workshop, I think last week, whereby there is a project that has come up where AI is going to be trained using different languages other than English and the other European languages. That project is actually here in Kenya. So they have started with Kiswahili, Kalenjin, Luo, Kikuyu. I think there were about 6 languages that they have started with, which means in future we are going to have AI systems that will be able to understand the native languages. Maybe Caleb can add something.
Okay. I think I'll take one more, 2 questions from the VC and then Mary, and then we wind up.
Engineer has told us that if you have not fed the computer or AI with the right algorithms, then it will not give you the right information, right? So if it, on this instance, maybe I'm a public relations officer at Zetech University, right? And I have embraced virtual assistant or the chatbots, right? And someone has asked a question, maybe a student who is inspiring to join this university. Don't you find that it will give a negative image about Zetech University when they don't get the right answer, the right information they're looking for?
First of all, the virtual assistant needs to be trained, and it is trained with the data in the university. It's going to be trained if this question is asked, this is how to respond. So it is very unlikely that it is going to give the wrong answer. If it doesn't have an answer, it is trained to say, sorry, I don't have answer for that. Can I refer you to a human to respond to your question? So it is unlikely that somebody will get disappointed unless it is not trained in the right way. Thank you.
Yes, Fadil, go ahead.
Okay, so to add on that one, us as the African Meta Club, we have a custom trained GPT model, trained specifically for our company, whereby if you want to understand what you do, we can give you access to it. And when you ask it, even if it doesn't know, it will just scrap everything that we fed it to you. Even if it won't suit you, the answer to you bestly, but it will give you like an answer close to what we have, specifically that we trained it on it. So I think that is what I can just tell you.
Also, to add on the issue of credibility, right now we are moving towards a technique for machine learning called reinforcement learning, where the system is able to also learn as it works. So it has a feedback mechanism where in itself it's able to reinforce the answer that it gives to the user. So it's also learning as it's working. Yes, thank you.
AI is real. Our last question.
Panelists, I want to congratulate you for a very animated discussion, and for the people who have been asking questions. It's a very animating discussion for those of us who are not very familiar with AI. I want to ask a question. There is this Zimbabwean, Chebuzo, who is making cars and televisions and transformers using waves. So the student who is doing electrical engineering, our innovator, when are we going to have products like the ones Chebuzo is showing that are based on AI or no AI, so that we also become producers of products?
Okay, Mike, from theory to practice, that's a question. When?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Right now, the challenge that we are having is that in the electrical domain or in engineering domain, we are now trying to embrace the technology part of it in terms of AI. You know, we are trying to incorporate the AI and the IT technologies into our syllabus in terms of co-curriculum activities and all that. So through such hubs like IZ and other IoT clubs in the institution, we are able to interact with other computer science students and IT students, so that we are able now to put our practical skills into building now systems that are AI supportive. For example, my invention was electrical as well as machine learning based. So we are currently on the right path to joining the Zimbabwe's projects like those. So we are in the right track into building systems that are AI related as engineers. So we are not working in isolation. We are working in collaboration with other departments. Yeah.
If you allow me, Madam DVC,
Yes, Prof.
I want to request that the gentleman makes the system, the prototype for the facial recognition. Then we become the first clients as Zetech University. Secondly, the issue of facial recognition is what we use in all airports. So it's not, we will not be infringing on anybody's personal issues. So Karibu, you have the first client.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, incubation, let's clap for Mike.
Yes, so actually I have a prototype, a working prototype, and I was even planning maybe in some months later, I'll ask for the permission from the university maybe to stress test now the system physically, maybe at the gate, and also maybe in attendance marking and other platforms. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. I think we need to give a standing ovation to our panelists. Members, let's give them a standing ovation. I told you they were the techies. We've come to the end of our presentation. Kindly stand as well. Kindly stand. Thank you so much. Let's give them 5 factorial. 1 to go. And don't leave. It was a bit unconstitutional, but we understand. We understand. I think there was one person who was supposed to join us online. We've come to the tail end of today's program. Members, you've been a group. And I pray that tomorrow we shall meet again. Kindly visit the exhibition stands. You've heard there is a lot of stuff you're showing out there. Kindly visit and find out how we can be able to work together. volunteer to pray for us? You can pray in Irish. What were the languages? Russian, as Roy can speak Russian. The other day we had a prayer in, was it Hebrew? From Dr. Nyasha. So today, Roy, you can use one of the AI languages.
I don't think AI understands Luya, so I will go straight to English. Kindly let us stand and close the word of prayer. Our gracious, everlasting, loving Father, we come to you, Father, this particular evening with thanksgiving. We cherish you. We honor you, Father. We glorify you on your name, Father. We give you thanks for everything that you've given unto us. The blessing of this particular day, we honor you. We give you thanks. Even as we come to the end of this particular day, Father, we continue invoking on your name, giving you all the glory, giving you all the honor, Father. That each and everything that we have discussed in this particular room, Father, we just commit it unto your hands. Each and every panelist, each and every participant, the audience, Father, we continue remembering and keeping them in your mind, Father, that whatever it is that we have discussed in this wonderful session for day one of our conference, that it may be of good use unto our minds, Father, unto our knowledge, unto our great university, the students, the stakeholders, Father, and also most importantly, as to exalt on your name, Father. Even as we depart, Father, to go back to our homes, Father, how we pray that you may continue being with us, Father. Give us your guidance, give us your protection. And when we shall come back again, Father, and meet again tomorrow, we shall give you thanks and all the glory, Father. Father, even look ahead of us, Father, is tomorrow, Father, and also the rest of the week and the conference. We continue committing it unto your hands, Father, for your glory, Father, and all for your honor, Father. How we pray and trusting and believing that you are going to be with us in each and everything, Father. How we pray, Father, that anything that we have not prayed for, Father, where they appear that we might have gone wrong against your wishes, Father, how we pray that you may forgive us, Father, even as we continue recognizing each and every success that you've given unto us, Father. I pray this holy prayer, trusting and believing in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.